The president has the right to ask Ukraine to cooperate with the Department of Justice. But you see, the Dems can't have this, because once you peel back the layers of the onion, it is they who are naked with guilt. There's been a lot of talk about constitutional crises, but the only constitutional crisis right now is the lawless attempt to impeach the sitting president. The effort by the Democrats to remove this president without regard to rules, without calling a vote, is a sleight of hand reminiscent of the medieval Star Chamber. The Star Chamber, of course, in royal palaces, used and abused its arbitrary power in secret proceedings to target enemies, always casting doubt on the legitimacy of the proceedings. They ended 400 years ago. Or did they? Today, our Congress, run by radicals resisting the will of the American people, getting revenge whatever way they can, have turned our Congress into a Star Chamber. Their attempt to impeach the president entails no vote, no due process, no right to be present, call witnesses, or cross-examine. The president is entitled to nothing. To these radicals, truth is irrelevant. Their mission is to do whatever they can to rid themselves of the man they hate. They lie on the record, as Adam Schiff did when reading the transcript of the president. Schiff calls himself a prosecutor. If he had done that in a courtroom, he would be disbarred and charged with perjury. There are secret interviews, selective leaks. Chairman Schiff, again reaffirming his liar status, says they never met with the whistleblower, a bald-faced lie. They met with him, referred him to lawyers, and for 1 month plotted their coup to overthrow the president while cultivating narratives and tweets designed to hurt the president. And when Kurt Volker, the U.S. envoy to Ukraine, says there was no quid pro quo, Adam Schiff corrects him. Quote, "Ambassador, you're making this more complicated than it has to be." No, he isn't. He's stating a fact. There was no quid pro quo. Deal with it. Ukraine had no idea there was even a holdup of military aid, so how could there be one? The Democrats need to snap out of their deranged, delusional, and dangerous game. They startled the nation with a claim that there was a whistleblower with information that our president was engaging in illegal acts on international phone calls with the president of Ukraine. We find out the so-called whistleblower is a CIA guy who knew Joe Biden, counseled by Adam Schiff's staff. Now they don't want to reveal his name for his protection. That's hogwash. They don't want to reveal his name, nor the name of the second so-called whistleblower, because we will then find out the real connections between these intelligence operatives and the Democrats, reminiscent, I might add, of the Russia collusion delusion. You know, official impeachment inquiries always begin in the Judiciary Committee, but Speaker Pelosi took it out of that committee because Chairman Nadler was blowing it. So, like a Star Chamber, they put their inquiry not in a place where even House members can hear the evidence that they ultimately have to vote on. Instead, it's conducted behind closed doors by a Committee of Intelligence Oversight and Foreign Affairs. The result? The American people only hear a narrative, a slickly designed narrative to hurt the president. Even congressmen who are on the Judiciary Committee are refused entrance. Their goal is to do articles of impeachment without the minority, without the Republicans, without the minority even having a chance to hear the evidence. They can hide testimony that helps the president and make sure it doesn't get out. If they like the way something sounds, they'll leak it, whether it's accurate, out of context, or just plain wrong. They're not interested in you or your problems. They're only interested in power, pure, naked power. They don't care that they placed a cloud over this presidency for the better part of almost 3 years, or that they fractured this nation with a claim that our commander-in-chief was a Russian asset, a Putin puppet. They lie and they impugn the integrity and the dignity of the 45th president of the United States to fit their vile and their hateful agenda. The irony here is that it was Barack Obama and Democrat senators who pushed Ukraine in 2016 to cooperate in probes of possible Trump wrongdoing that did not exist. The Ukraine government offered to help Hillary and her allies search for damaging information on Trump and his advisors. Where was the outrage, the investigation, the Star Chamber then? So now you want to tell me the president doesn't have the right to get on a phone and say to the now president of Ukraine, I'd like to find out about corruption that began in 2016? The president of the United States has not only the right, but in fact the obligation to investigate whether the intelligence community crossed lines in an effort to frame a presidential candidate. The president has the right to ask Ukraine to cooperate with the Department of Justice. But you see, the Dems can't have this, because once you peel back the layers of the onion, it is they who are naked with guilt. They who are at fault in the genesis of this whole Russia collusion that has been debunked. It was the first time in American history that people with unbridled power tried to eliminate a presidential candidate, and when that failed, planted the seeds for indictment and impeachment. The impeachment that we are now witnessing today. All the illegalities surrounding the issuance of the FISA warrant came from a group that was so confident that the rules did not matter, so confident that they could violate the rights of a presidential candidate and the will of the American people, that it could only have come from one place, the top. And as the radicals continue on their unbridled path to grab power, the people have specifically not given them. They will continue their violation of law, and all norms in their Star Chamber of resistance and revenge.